Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let that shit go in my hand, war gaming.
Big man. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, the god of time, hanging out with Fox.
I'm Fox, the god of Shane, so therefore, by extension, also the god of time.
You're not my god.
You don't know that.
I don't like you.
Hashtag not my god.
And Churchy in the
In the
void.
void.
Today we're talking about RPGs, and we will name several of them that we have played.
Yeah, let's start from the start. Yeah, we're just going to talk about all the RPGs we've played. And the reason we're talking about RPGs is because recently, unlike ever before, have we both really come to... Something did turn off this. It was this, Churchy.
You keep talking.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, I'll keep talking?
That's really dark in that corner.
Yeah, we didn't realize how much work the purple light was doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, Churchy's trapped. Do you want me to
Yeah,
do
that's a good idea, Churchy.
There you go. Yes. The reason we are going to be talking about RPGs is because recently we have become hyped
Yeah.
to play more RPGs and also run them ourselves.
Sorry, I'm just in awe that Churchy just picked up and it just
Yeah,
What-
I was like, wait, I didn't touch anything.
maybe
Does that thing like click in? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just a Jew.
yeah, you're Jesus.
I am a Jew.
Come loose, but should be good.
Yeah.
Or it was loose the whole time, I don't know. But
Yeah, actually, you bumped it when you went out that door. Before
Either way,
I
you
didn't say
fixed it.
anything. Churchy, the god of light.
Yep.
Who is the god of light?
Churchy.
Ra? I don't know. So
Depends who you ask.
I was asking you, and you said it was Churchy. So
Yeah.
that must be.
Yeah.
Our RPG adventures collectively dawn back before a time of visuals. Before the podcast
Yep.
had video.
Yep.
Before the podcast was at Shane's house.
I think even before the podcast was a podcast.
No, it was a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we were at the Churchy's site office.
Was that the first one though?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know what we would have played before that.
I thought maybe Root, but maybe not.
No, that was
Yeah.
podcast too.
Fair enough. Our first RPG we ever played was the Alien RPG
Collectively, yeah. And
Mm.
we decided to do that on a trestle table
outside.
outside
In the wind.
in Little River in the wind, which we learned is not a strong system.
Especially for the campaign that we played, which was the Charity of the Gods, which had a full map of like a ship in front of us.
Did it?
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, I remember. No, I believe you. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It had a full map of the ship. That's all. I didn't even remember that. Like, it came to me in a vision somehow.
It's actually it's the Alien RPG like starter set or something like that. It is it's a great pickup. I think it's about $50, but
Yeah.
it comes with like dice, cards, a map, multiple
somewhere,
rule
right?
books. Yeah, it's somewhere. It's up on the shelf somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen it recently.
But like it's awesome. It's got so much stuff in it, and it is definitely, if you're curious about like any RPG, it is a good one to pick up.
Yeah, it's set in the alien universe. That's cool enough.
That sells it, right?
It did for us because another thing was like you could just pick up and play it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let's just do that.
Yep.
And so I think I tried to DM it. Was I DM'd
I
it?
DM'd it.
You DM'd it.
Yeah.
That's right. You DM'd it. Yeah. And it was pretty good. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember me and Churchy doing things. And you did some things.
Yeah. I
And we-
remember moving inside because it was too windy outside.
Yeah. And then we only ever played it the once, though.
We did. No? Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
So and then I think maybe we did an episode on it too back in season
Probably.
1.
Yeah.
So I don't remember much about the mechanics of the game, but I do remember thinking, oh, this is a cool thing you can do with just like 2 to 3 people and tell a story, and it has tokens that move around. But we didn't really touch anything again for ages until the Root RPG went up on Kickstarter, which is an RPG based on Root, the board game.
Yeah, yeah.
And part of the Kickstarter was if you backed it, you got like a, what do they call it? It's like a digital free rules type thing.
Sure.
But it's like a light version of the game.
Yep.
And so I used that and cut out some cards and made some stuff and made a whole story. And
That's what I'm thinking, right? Because I was like, I know
Yeah.
we played it before before you received the Kickstarter.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
that's where I got confused, and I was thinking like we played it earlier.
Yeah, we played it very early. We played
Yeah.
it like that also would have been probably not long after Alien, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably 6 months after. So, yeah, it was very cool. I loved making the story. I remember it so well because I wrote it. But I remember that it was a bit. I remember thinking it's a bit weird. Like it was just me DMing for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just me helping you tell a story.
Yeah, it was, and like I know you spent a lot of time, and I think the thing with running an RPG, it's kind of like, and we actually spoke about this, was like, how much effort do you put into creating something that like I remember that there was like paths, so we're in one clearing,
Yeah.
which is the whole route kind of system is clearings and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, and then you like move to another, and we talked about it's like, well, what if I don't go to the one that you've like scripted?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you need to have all this stuff that's ready to go on the fly, that it doesn't matter which on the board one I go to.
Yeah.
This thing just procs, or it's like,
Yeah.
or it's just a whole bunch of improv.
Yeah. Exactly. Being a GM, game master, or dungeon master, whatever you want to call them, is just that, improv. And if you want to write cool stories and have cool themes throughout things, then either make it so expansive that no matter which option they pick, you've got answers, or like you say, make them like little almost modules.
Yeah.
Hey, there's this story, there's this person, and whichever place you visit, I'm plugging them into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what I had done basically for all the clearings. I only had like 9 clearings on the map. And I had basically just written a loose story for each place and kind of had a few key characters and then picked a character from another clearing that they interact with in one way.
Yeah.
And so I just had that so that if you went, I want to do this and go to this place, there was a loose thing there and I was just going to let the rest of the story tell itself.
And it kind of does, right? Like,
Yeah.
you, like, from that quickly going back to like the Alien RPG that I DM'd for you guys, I too don't remember a whole deal about it because it was pretty loose, and I think we were consuming beers while playing.
Oh, we were. It was hot. We were drinking.
Yeah.
We were drinking a lot, actually.
Yeah. That was back in the day when we drank way too much and then
Yeah.
recorded an episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was cool mechanics where like there's like this whole stress mechanic where you get these extra dice, but you know, you roll them along with your rolls for your checks.
Yeah.
You know, your skill checks or whatever. And if you roll a stress, then it's like something bad happens, and there's like a sort of a table there. But yeah, improv, it's like you have to, right? Like the best part about an RPG is someone says, "Can I do this?" And you're like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome."
Yeah.
Like, of course you
If
can
you
do
want
that.
to do it,
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
It shouldn't be, can I do this? Of course you can.
yeah.
Is it going to work out? I mean, who knows?
We'll find out.
Let's find out.
Yeah,
And like, I mean, you still have control as the DM where you could be like, I really don't want them to do this thing
yeah,
because I think if they go down this particular route, the story is going to unfold in a way they'll find much more enjoyable.
yeah, yeah.
Because I've prepared it or whatever. And so if someone's like, oh, I try to do this, and they roll a nat 20,
Yeah.
you could say, oh, well, it didn't work, but you gained this from doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You
it's
got
like-
this clue or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
It didn't help you progress doing like going down the path you think you want to do,
yeah,
but you gained something cool from it, and now
yeah,
go back and listen to what I have to say.
yeah.
So you do, but yeah, I think a good DM is an improv master.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
so we played probably 2 sessions of Root, I think.
Sure. Yep.
And we played 1 of Alien. So we just like tapped on these games. And it wasn't really until Ollie started, we played a Star Wars RPG
Yeah, with Final.
with Final Dinosaur.
Yeah, which was
Yep.
a across the globe
Yeah.
campaign.
It was very cool.
So we were. I just can't believe that we actually made that work. I think it's because he had it was morning for him.
yeah.
So he had like a break from his study or from work
That's
or
right.
something like that, and it worked perfectly. And
Yeah.
it was like 8 o'clock our time was, 9 o'clock in the morning his time or whatever it works out to be, and it was like perfect. Like
Yeah.
we can fit it in. We can jump on for a couple of hours.
All the way from the UK.
Huh?
Where was Final living at that point?
He's in Belgium.
He was living in Belgium still.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. With his brother,
Yeah.
Human. Yeah.
The human.
Yeah. I remember there was a few times where session had to pause because he was like, "Oh, hang on, Mum's here with the shopping."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like you could hear him in the background being like, "Oh, I go out or something." Yeah, it was cool. It
Yeah.
was, because Ollie was running it from Adelaide and we
Yeah.
were in our basements or whatever. And then we had final from Belgium. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very cool.
Yeah.
And that was a cool Star Wars one.
Mm.
And I almost wish I knew then about RPGs what I know now, and I feel like I could have brought more to it.
Yeah.
And played
yeah.
around with it more.
Yeah, definitely.
But we kind of just played it encounter to encounter type thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this fight happens, all right, then we just quickly end up at the next fight. So
I guess it's so easy to like focus on the combat side of things, right? Like
especially as tabletop
yeah,
war gamers.
Yeah, that's all we know is combat. But like there's so much can happen between encounters and like engagements that like that's 99% of the story, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like the combat should be like the last bit.
Yeah. A footnote.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Parsecs plays, where I feel like you tell the story and then quickly play
A
a
mission.
tabletop thing, and
Yeah,
maybe you
yeah.
fail, maybe you pass, whatever,
Yeah.
back onto the story type
Yeah.
thing. So, yeah, I think, and we were talking about this in the episode from a couple weeks ago, Gamerpalooza,
Yeah, yeah.
where we played another RPG, just a one shot
Yep.
with Ollie, and we
Yep.
discovered through that one shot that we're more about the theater of the mind type
Yeah.
RPGs, the
Yeah.
both of us. I mean, if we want combat, we'll play a war game.
Yeah, yeah.
And whilst you do want some sort of like you want to be able to use your skills and use your abilities,
Mm.
I think telling a story is cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Role playing through the whole scenarios is cool.
I think even like the last, like I've tried to do, like Ollie and I have done a couple of like little like one-on-one RPGs online for a while, but it's that's a whole other kettle of fish to try and do it by yourself. You've got
Yeah.
no one to like bounce ideas off, or
Yeah.
like there's no like interactions there that you have when you have like a party. But I feel like even like now, I've learned so much about what it is to play an RPG,
Yeah.
to embrace the character that
Yeah.
you're playing. Like our last one at Gamerpalooza, I was like a dragon-born barbarian or something. It was just like a pre-generated one.
Yeah.
But he was like lawful good, and I'm just like, all right, this guy's gonna follow the law to the letter. And
Yeah.
if it means even like siding with the bad guy or killing the bad guy like at the end
Yeah.
or whatever. But like, yeah. So now like having learned that, it's just opened up so much more for RPGs and
You raise a good
Keen.
point too, because I always think of trying to make the character on the table that I'm playing represent me in some way.
Mm.
And so they always kind of end up feeling like I'm playing the same person.
But they don't have to though.
What I love is when you go, I'm actually just going to let that character, I'm going to play that character.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you said. So if it's lawful good in this situation, I want to do this cool thing.
yeah.
But he's lawful good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, and
Yep.
that's his nature.
Yeah.
Why would he randomly change? It doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
And so, and picking up, like using their natures and their backgrounds, that was something that we all did a lot in that RPG.
It was cool. Yeah.
And that was very cool.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think that doing that has kind of made us realize something about RPGs that we didn't quite realize before. And now we're both like, all right, I want to run this one. And we're both like, yeah, gearing up to DM one.
We are. Yeah.
So that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Seventh Extinction,
Yes.
which is one that we played at PAX.
At PAX, yeah, we played with the creator of the game.
Yeah.
Just a local Melbourne dude. Well, there was two of them there actually,
Yeah.
but one of them was running it for us. Who immediately you could tell how much has gone into this game.
Yeah.
Their intention for the game to be free.
Mm.
You know,
Always,
and the style of the one shot, how they really contained it as a one shot, where it's not like you're not trying to herd cats and keep everyone in the same area. Like we
Yeah.
were literally in like an underwater base. It's like you can't go anywhere.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I liked
and,
his effort there.
and you could only really move room for room
Yeah.
to room, but you still felt like, although it was quite linear in
Yeah.
the way they designed it, so everyone played through it, and it came to a close in what was it, like an hour and a half?
We have 2 hours.
Do you remember, Churchy? Was it
Could have been like 2 hours.
2 hours?
Maybe
yeah.
it was.
It wasn't super long.
No. It was very quick and it flew by. It did not feel like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's hard to do a one shot in 2 hours and have
Yep.
people feel like they came to a conclusion.
3 to 5. 3 to 5 sounds about right. 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I reckon it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. I think that they were 2 hour windows.
Yeah.
And this person's running this campaign non-stop. And
Yeah.
like,
5 times in the day.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yep.
their game. It must be so cool to sit there and have your game and see people interact with it and pick
Yep.
it up. But they had pre-generated characters, which is always fun. You just grabbed one out. And,
Yeah.
And again, I just went, okay, how can I make this character me?
Yeah.
You know, it's me, the sniper, or whatever I was. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Whereas having sort of seen that aspect of it through that D&D game, we played a Game of Palooza
Yeah.
a month or so later.
Yeah.
Again, I would go back to that game and be like, all right, what is this character? What is their background? What's their nature? I'm going to
Yeah.
play them.
It's like Churchy played the pacifist. He didn't
Yeah.
kill anyone.
Yeah, that's
He didn't
it.
shoot his gun.
Yeah. And that's so fun trying to make that work
Yeah.
and seeing how that unfolds on the tabletop.
Yeah.
I liked the part where he used one of his, was it like a psychic ability? No.
It was a
He's-
anti-gravity thing.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
snuck
I had,
over
like an anti-gravity grenade thing or something. So
Yeah.
discs.
device, so I stuck it on a
Yeah.
trolley and pushed it into a zombie thing.
You know what's so cool? I bet he's ran that campaign probably 20 times. over
And
the
no one
weekend.
would have done that.
Yeah, I wonder how everyone else used their anti-gravity discs.
Yeah.
A Churchy snuck over and tried
Yeah.
to knock out a bunch of zombies with
A
a trolley. Yeah. And it ended up just pinning them to the roof,
Yeah. Yeah.
which you left them there for the entire time of the RPG, Churchy. You savage.
Yeah.
And what I love is like that RPG in particular and the D&D one with Ollie at Game of Palooza
Yeah.
both had one element that they shared together.
Mm.
And that was they had a tiny element of chaos that I like to call Rory.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
love that we're stuck in an underwater base.
Yeah.
And Rory, and we're all trying to escape and be useful and do things and discover things and
Yeah.
find out why the scientists are dead. And Rory is like, so what's beyond that crushed door?
The one that's leaking water.
Leaking water. He goes, you don't know. But we all know.
And he's like,
Probably a breach of water.
and he also found out that he can use a welder and cut through metal. So he's like, I want to cut
through that door. And I was like, someone let Rory cut through that door. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to just like when no one really responded or said anything about it. He mentioned it 4 or 5 more times. He really wanted to cut through that
Yeah.
door.
Yeah. But he didn't.
He didn't.
And he didn't, flood the whole facility. But what he did do was die in a sense of discovery.
He did flood the whole facility eventually.
But he
Yeah.
had to know what was in the mine. So there was a big
Yeah.
underwater mine thing, and it ended up disturbing a creature's nest.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta know. We're getting attacked by this giant monster. What is in the mine?
Yeah.
And he died finding out what was in the mine.
Yeah. Because like we were running out of oxygen, so we're trying to book it to the ship.
Yeah.
And we have some cool choices that we have to make about who we keep and
Yep.
whatnot, and who we send down to do this, and if they're gonna get the people and be able to come back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we're under the crunch, and Rory's just like, I go back and check out the mine as we're trying to flee the ship.
Yeah.
And finding I believe he found the eggs,
The nest.
nest, and that caused the flood, emergency flood procedures or something.
I think by then the creature was like breaking through this
Sure.
underwater dome thing.
Oh, because it was outside.
It was outside. That
Yeah.
was the same creature that we were fighting at the very start. That was
That's-
attacking
I
the
forgot all about
the
that.
top side.
When we were above on the flotilla type
Yeah,
thing.
and then we had to get into the elevator. We went down to the sea
because we'd
floor.
stolen its eggs.
They basically they like mined its eggs,
Yeah,
and it's like, and then it was not. Mama was not happy.
that's right.
Mm.
And so I love that because I feel like because Rory invites chaos, we can be chaos back to Rory.
Yeah,
And so when he was running back to the ship, my guy was at the door. He trips. Rory has a bad roll and
yes,
trips.
he did. He tripped.
And I thought the DM was just going to be like, sorry, mate, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
But he's like, all right, he's tripped do you guys want to risk wait? I was like, nah. I didn't even let the DM finish the sentence. Like, nah, put the door up. Put the door up. It's like, are you sure he might make it?
Yeah.
I said, put the door up. And so because my character was at the door and everyone was on it, in my head I imagine my character never told anyone that Rory was coming back.
Yeah. It's like, he didn't make it.
I didn't see him.
He didn't
It's
make
sad.
It. Oh, it got him.
It got him. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's
it's-
like just outside the door.
He trips over like a foot away.
Yeah.
He actually is
Yep.
going on to grab the door, but I lift it just before he does. And then he brought the right amount of chaos and crazy to
Yeah.
the RPG. But it's just fun when you've got a good crew.
Oh, so good, right?
You've got people who are just want to get in and do combat, and then you got a
Yep.
mix of people trying to tell a cool story, and then you got a few people that are just there to do some goofy stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just awesome. And I think those two experiences recently have unlocked
Oh, haven't they?
RPGs for us.
So we're both talking about running some RPGs, just probably for like, maybe like us three and
Yeah,
Rory,
and
of course.
Rory, of course,
Can't have the unhinged chaos.
It would be interesting to like maybe bring one or two normies in as well.
Yeah,
and,
see what maybe Jimmy gets involved or something like that.
tag in and just give him like a
Yep.
just be like, come once, see if you like it. If not, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm studying up big on Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Got a couple of solo missions that I've played through, and I've got one that I might convince Caitlin to play through it once
Yeah,
or twice. So looking forward to that. I'm just ingesting so much Lovecraftian lore at the moment that I really hope that I can put together a really cool thing.
It's what's awesome is like I think for so long we both have the same hurdle where it's like, usually you have to comb through a 200-page book and learn the rules, and
Yep.
you're like, it's not like a war game where you learn a rule and then like, it's a shooting phase. Let's just check. I know how to do this, but how does this work?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You just check. It's like it feels like you need to know every possible rule because you don't know what the players are going to try and do. And so I've always had this barrier where it's like, unless I know this thing like the back of my hand,
Which won't happen.
which won't ever happen. Thus, I'll never play an RPG.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think we're both just like, you know what? We're the DMs.
Yeah.
Let's just theater of the mind.
Yep.
And if I don't know a rule, I'll make something up on the spot.
And that's it, right? And like
Whatever.
one thing I've been watching, there's this dude on YouTube who's like sort of explains things to do as to be a good DM.
Yeah.
And he's like minimize dice rolls.
Yeah.
Like if there's something you don't want your players to do, don't give them the option to like roll for it. Like
Yeah, sure.
And like, but like that same thing. Like if there's something that like you don't know how it works, make a dice roll for it.
Yeah.
And just be like, if it goes off, sweet. If it doesn't, tough luck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's like taking that approach where it's like these rules aren't there that we need to they're just options.
They're guidelines.
They're guidelines. They're literally guidelines. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we've thought of every possible rule you might want in a game.
Yeah.
So take from this book whatever you like at the time that you play,
Yeah.
and you'll figure it out. And you know what'll be cool? Like we'll do some and we'll be like, oh, I really wonder, can that person do that thing they tried? Oh, they can. That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
And then the next time you go, oh, hey, guy, by the way, last time we did this.
Mm.
If you ever want to do that again, here's how it actually works. There's
Yeah.
a full thing in the book for it. So,
Yeah.
and you just piecemeal it and you learn as they learn. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I think it's really cool. I think taking that pressure off is going to unlock RPGs for us.
I think it's the atmosphere too, right? Like I feel like that's what is the most enjoyable part. Like, yeah, there's combat and rolling dice and like hitting and then like maybe like pushing a roll and like that time that we played Twilight 2000 in person and we like pushed the roll and we got it and and like we shot the guy and we intimidated them and like that's sick, but like just setting the scene is like 80% of the game.
Yeah, and that tension in like the players trying to do something risky.
Yeah.
And having it pay off, or even I would say it's equally as enjoyable to have it fail miserably.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, you did it. and you're like, yes. Oh, and this cool thing happens because you did it so well.
Yeah.
Like, yes. And this thing gets easier now.
Yeah.
Ah, a clue for that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so satisfying. But it's like, you failed miserably. Oh, no.
Yeah.
This thing spawns.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it immediately knocks Church's character and he's knocked out. So he's incapacitated over there. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, how do we recover from this? Like,
Yep.
you know, I just think it's cool. Telling the story, regardless of which way it goes, is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah.
Just help people tell the story they want to tell with the characters that they're trying to play.
What game do you want to run?
Wild Sea.
Wild Sea. That's
Yeah.
right.
So I did do a session 0 with us once where we all made characters, which
Yep.
is cool.
Yep.
But then it kind of, we just didn't pick it back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've been flicking through the book because it's such a cool theme.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That ever growing jungle.
Yeah.
The canopies become the ocean.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
ride these ships that have just like chainsaws underneath and they cut their way across the tops of the canopies.
Mm.
And some islands from beneath the ground have been pushed up to the tops of the canopies, and that's where people live on these big floating islands.
Yeah.
And then you dive down into the sea.
Yep.
And it's like the same levels of the sea. You've got shallow sea where there's like small bugs and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go deeper down and there's monsters.
Big
and
scary stuff.
Big scary stuff. And the deeper you go down, the bigger the scary stuff.
But the bigger the treasure.
Yeah. Old ruins and relics from forgotten worlds and clues and
Yeah.
yeah. But on the top, it's just like a pirate game where it's trading and
Yeah,
doing all
yeah.
kinds of things and going to a dock and finding jobs. And yeah, it's a pirate theme with a awesome twist on it with really cool characters and art. It's really well done. So I've got the book. So.
I remember some of the races that were there. It was like you could be like a sentient cactus.
Yep.
Or like a whole bunch of spiders.
That's right. Spiders that have created a colony that was a person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's even like automatons
Yeah,
and
yeah.
other things. So there's
Yep.
a heap of very, really cool out there wild races.
I think I was a cactus. I'm pretty sure I was sentient.
You
cactus.
were a cactus, yeah.
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 I'm a prick.
Huh?
I'm a prick.
Yeah, because you were a prick. We
Yeah.
were like, this is Shane's character.
That's
But
me.
now we know we can give you any character. You can just play them.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's cool. And I've already started sort of writing a loose story of the theme or scene. And
Would you
yeah.
not prefer to run a pre-made campaign?
There is a pre-made one in there. And would I prefer to do it? It's 50-50.
I feel like it would take a lot of pressure off.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
what I intend to do for Call of Cthulhu, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Run a pre-made.
Yeah, I think I'll run the pre-made one that's in there, but it looks like it can plug straight into a wider world.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, if it has an end, sweet, we'll just start
Yeah.
again or whatever. But if it fits into this,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be cool. It's called Into the Breach, I think, which will
Oh,
be
nice.
sweet. So, yeah. So we're excited now for RPGs. So we want to know from y'all, we have an RPG channel, right?
We do.
In the Discord. Jump in there. Tell us about the RPGs you're playing now,
Mhm.
or in the YouTube comments if you're a Discord adverse.
Go on.
If you have an aversion to Discord, let us know in the YouTube comments. Yeah, what are you playing? What have you played? What are some awesome RPGs out there? And which way do you play RPGs?
Yeah.
This is the thing I'm most interested. Are you like one of the people where you play D&D and you want to know how long until I get to the cave with the goblins in it
Yeah.
that I can fight them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or are you like, oh, combat just gets in the way. Just let me tell a story and use my skills. Or are you 50-50?
I'm going to say most people are probably 50-50.
Yeah. I played with a crew that was purely combat.
Oh, wow.
That was my old boss and his crew. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was very... In fact, they were getting frustrated at how long they had to spend between one of the scenes. And
Really?
we were still in the same cave.
Yeah.
But they were like, all right, we'll go to the next room. They're like, do you want to look at this underground house in a cave?
No, I want to
They're
kill
like,
more
"Oh,
skeletons.
We searched the house. And they're like, roll. And then they're like, all right, cool. Next room.
Yeah.
And
The
I was like,
DM must have been so frustrated.
I
Was
think...
Zaddy DM? Who was Demon?
Nah, it was a different guy. You don't know. You don't know. He's from Canada.
He's from Canada. Doubt.
Down. So yeah. Anyways, it was my jam for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am curious. How's everyone playing their RPGs? What do you like? What do
Yeah.
you love? Tell us.
Yep.
everything, so we can absorb your RPG knowledge.
You can find links to our Discord and hobbyhomies.com. From there, you can also find links to like our Patreon,
Oh yeah,
where Patreons do support us
they do.
on Patreon. We've got some absolute legends there. $2 a month, you get early access to videos like this, stuff in our battle reports, other cool fun rewards, some physical stuff too.
Physical stuff.
More physical stuff's coming.
Guess how many patrons we have?
75.
Well, I won't say my number because it's smaller now. You prick. You're sentinel cactus. Sentient cactus.
Sentinel
we have
cactus.
73.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I guess 2 cancelled.
In the last 5
How
minutes.
crazy is that?
That's 2 cancelled. That is crazy.
Who would cancel?
I know, right?
Thank you all so much to these legends on the screen. We literally cannot thank you enough. So we do it every episode in an attempt.
Of course, it's a mere attempt. There's no true way to thank these people like MJ, Moose, Fatboy, and Tom, Numa, the Goats, Burnsy, Final Dinosaurs, Hocker, Gridlock, Journeyman, Matt.
We got the OGs, Souls, Are You Warrior, Churchy, Rad, Ollie, Pinny, Don Juan, Don, Pure, Blind, Jackson, V, Mini, Walmart, Oswald Gaming, Analog Lion, Tim Smith, and Big Roach. You're all amazing.
My tennis elbow.
Oh, you can't Big Roach anymore.
I'll never not Big Roach.
You know you can use your left arm. Just in general
Doesn't
for
work.
things. It doesn't work. Tennis elbow.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
All right.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing